So there's an article by the Gateway Pundit, and it's reporting on a YouGov poll. Now, YouGov is not the best pollster, but and the other thing is you got to look at how the questions are being presented. There's a lot of bias and skewing that goes on with that too. The way they conducted it left some ambiguity about how the person can answer it. So, take the following headline with a grain of salt. But there is a point here to be made. So the headline is that YouGov poll: 78% of Americans want Iran war ended now. Most people that I've talked to, and again, you can say this is a sampling bias, most people seem, based on the data that I've seen, didn't want the war to begin with and don't see any benefit to the war. Now, it leaves open the question how they want it ended. Some people want, they want the war to end, but they want it to end on good terms for the United States. Some people just want it ended because it shouldn't have started to begin with. And then, of course, you get some people that have more nuanced answers, which is really more of the truth. That's really what it is. If you ask people on the streets, a lot of people probably don't pay attention to the details, and those that do, it'll give you more nuanced details about the conditions in which they think the war should end, or whether or not the war should have started to begin with. But all that aside, most people want election integrity. They want mass deportations. They want better trade deals. Now, you can argue whether or not Trump is going about it the right way. Basically, what people want, people are old enough to remember when the United States was a lot stronger of a country. They want that country back. They want, obviously lower crime. They want safety. They want good economic prospects, which is probably the thing that touches everybody the most, right? Economic prospects. They want people to do well. They want themselves. They want their families to do well. So 78% of Americans want the war ended now. Obviously, and I've been saying this on this channel, that the war should have never been started to begin with. I speculate if Netanyahu has some compromising information or something on Trump to have the amount of power and influence that he has, because I don't think any other world leader could have gone to Trump and say, hey, let's go to war with some country and I promise everything will work out. Trump is retarded when it comes to choosing the right people to put around him and to trust. Maybe he was on Epstein's island. Based on the way that was handled, I really put that into question as well. So anyway, the headline, it grabs your attention. Probably a lot of truth to it. There's more nuance to it. How do Americans want the war ended? That depends on how much they're paying attention, really. So, of course, the war is not good. Of course, it's caused a lot of economic damage around the world. We're looking at a energy-induced recession globally. We're talking about possibly shut down of supply chain steps in East Asia. And we're talking about, the components for like nitrogen fertilizer, because you need natural gas for that. Qatar's ability to do that is basically completely offline. It will be for some years. We're talking about some really serious dislocations. But anyway, all of this for Netanyahu. But, hopefully we'll get through this.